Hamilton, a lot of heavy traffic earlier. Crash has been cleared. Still over an hour inbound at the Lincoln Tunnel, easing out at the George 30 at the Holland. The WFAN forecast with some clouds, with some showers, mixed in with some sun, but high around 90 again today. 72 degrees under hazy skies in Central Park. I'm Tracy Burgess with the Hyundai Fan Highway Patrol.
So much for cooling things off. Thank you, Tracy. I'm Mike Francesa along with Charles McCord here on the Fan across the country. Rob Bartlett will be at the Brokerage Comedy Club. That's Saturday night, July 14th. Saturday night, July 14th, that is located on Merrick Road in Belmore, at the corner of Belmore Avenue and Merrick Road in Belmore. Know the place well. The Rob Bartlett at the Brokerage Comedy Club. For tickets, call 516-785-8655. So go see Rob. He puts on a great show. If you've never seen him, you will have a delightful night because he is that funny.
There should be a health warning, though.
Please. Yeah, he will.
Supplemental oxygen required.
You will be gasping for you.
The first time I saw him, Mike, just quickly, I have never laughed that hard in my life.
And the best thing, and listen, he's on a different level than these other guys who go to those places, as we know.
Totally.
I mean, let's be honest, okay? I mean, it's like a talent thing. You could pick him out the minute you walk in the door. But what helps him, too, is the fact that, familiarity helps so much with comedy, and his ability to come up and give you recognizable characters that you know from the Imus in the Morning program, that he has such a, reservoir of recognizable stuff that he's done that it clicks right into the audience, and away you go. So, I mean, having heard all this stuff and know what he's going to click into, as Rob said, as Charles said, you go there and you will gasp. You will beg him to stop.
You will be asked.
No, really.
He's got to stop.
I mean, you will. And the only other time that I ever had that was one night. We went and did a UNLV game in Vegas. We used to do a lot of games there. And that night we stayed over. This is when I was with CBS years and years ago. We did a game at UNLV. And we stayed over and we went that night to Caesar's Palace and to see Rodney Dangerfield. Well, Rodney Dangerfield, in a place like that where he can really cut loose in that kind of setting, he comes at you like a machine gun.
Yep.
It just is one after the other. And you might sit there and you giggle a little, and then one you don't laugh. And then all of a sudden he connects and you go. And then it's like a machine. It's like he's pinned you to the wall, and he just keeps coming, and you're begging him, just stop. I can't take anymore.
It becomes an endurance event.
I mean, he's beating you up. You're laughing so hard, and he just machine guns out another one and another one and another.
That's Robbie. That's Robbie.
And Rob's the same way. It's on the same way. It's just you're like, please, I can't take anymore. And you die. It is really. I mean, he's like royalty when you put him in a setting like this. It's like royalty. It's like the other guys should just they should genuflect on the way in. I mean, Rob is he is royalty to these people. But you know what? I mean, that's where guys go to start. So Rob goes in there to tune his work every once in a while. But hey, when you have a chance to see him in a setting like that, grab it.
Yep.
Because it is good.
Don't miss it.
516-785-8655. Here's Continent.
All right, Mike. Sports is sponsored by Bradley International Airport. Go easy, go Bradley. Nothing went easy for the Yankees last night in Baltimore.
Runners lead, first and second, 2 out. Pitch. Swung on and grounded weakly to first. Gomez fields. Flips to Bradford in time. Ball game over. Orioles win.
As appropriate, wasn't it? Grounded weakly to first. The way to end the game.
Oh, why are you revel in this? I'm
not reveling in anything, Mike.
I've been surrounded, Charles, my whole time here at Fan with Yankee haters. My program has never had a Yankee fan with me my whole time. All my producers hate the Yankees.
I had Malusis.
But he's a tepid Yankee fan. He really is, And then you
Plus, he loved dogs, so immediately was out the door with Mike.
Yeah, whatever it is, he loved dogs, so it didn't make any sense. And, he and Dog are like, the brother Dog never had. He adopted Malusis. That was basically it. That is his long-lost brother.
Yeah.
And
the brother that calls you all the time, every waking hour of the day, and will not leave you alone ever.
Unlike the one who is a distant relative but calls for money. Which one of my producers would fit into that role?
Hey, Mike, which would you rather have?
Probably you. Or Gelwood was both.
Where do I write the check?
Or Gel, annoying, and he wanted money.
Well, anyway, the Yankees did lose. They only got 5 hits on the night. Eric Bedard pitched very, very well. Only gave up 2 hits over 7 shutout innings, and Roger Clemens took the loss. Yankees have dropped 7 out of 8 now. Aubrey Huff with the big blow, a 3-run homer in the 4-run 6th inning. So here is Clemens after the game.
It's my fault. You could see how the game was breaking down. I've been in hundreds of those types of games, and you just want to minimize, what you're doing out there and try and keep momentum. You just want to, again, the way the game's breaking down, you want to stay away from a big inning.
Unfortunately, he could not do that as they had 4 runs in the 6th.
He looked lost. You see his expression on the mound.
His first game in 200 starts that he failed to register a strikeout.
Can you believe that?
That is noteworthy.
Maybe Elvis is leaving the building. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
With a $28 million paycheck.
Maybe this retirement sticks this year. It is. He's leaving with lovely parting gifts.
And somebody gave Elvis a hell of a parachute. At any rate, the Mets won last night. Tom Glavine, career win number 297, a 2-0 shutout. A 2-0 shutout of the Cardinals, but it only took 6 innings because of the rain. David Wright supplied all the offense in the first inning.
1-0 to Wright. Now the pitch, and a fastball driven in the air, deep to right center field. Taguchi going back at the wall. It's gone. Home run. David Wright. He hit it off the base of the big scoreboard. Well to the left of the 371 mark. LaDuca scores ahead of him. Wright crosses the plate with his 13th home run of the year. The Mets are leading by a score of 2-0.
One more spring back in Howie's step after the night before.
A little bounce. A little. You can notice that. A little bounce in Howie's step there.
Absolutely. Glavine only gave up 1 hit in those 6 innings, and the Mets have won 5 of 6. Couple other scores quickly. The Mariners completed the sweep of the Red Sox 2-1 in 11 yesterday. Jose Lopez with a walk-off double off Joel Pinheiro to win it.
What is a walk-off double?
What do you mean, what is a walk-off double?
I mean, walk-off double.
Walk-off, game's over. Double wins the game. Walk-off double.
I'll barely tolerate walk-off homer as part of the baseball lexicon. Walk-off singles and doubles, please.
Got them all. How about a walk-off walk like Scott Proctor the other night?
I mean, the walk-off walk. I mean, please. Why don't you walk off?
Kansas City completed the sweep of the Angels. 1-0 shutout yesterday. Oakland wins, as do the White Sox. Paul Konerko with a 2-run double in the 8th inning there to win it, as Mark Burley picks up his 5th win of the year. Toronto won 5-4 over Minnesota. Quickly in the National League, the Brewers got a walk-off home run from Damian Miller. 3-run shot as they beat the Astros in 11, 6-3. Carlos Zambrano, his 9th win. Cubs win 6-4 over Colorado. And the Giants lost, thankfully.
Watch out for Louis and the Cubs.
San Diego.
Louis's got that little glint in his eye.
Yeah.
Louis and the Cubs.
They can certainly put it together in the National League Central.
Louis and the Cubs. I guess they have a little song there. Great a tune if you didn't notice Benny and the Jets.
Yes, I know.
Louis and the Cubs.
No, I picked up on that.
You got it.
Good. Louis and the Cubs.
Maddox career win number 340. And Mike, you have been playing some of the more funny moments.
Well, we try.
Malaprops
we can't
on the
play
station.
We can't go into the A stuff, but without getting arrested.
I will. I myself.
Boy,
The license.
I've almost broke into that cabinet a couple of times, but I have reserved judgment.
Very good.
Anyway, I thought that the least I could do is poke a little fun at myself. And a malaprop that I had a couple of years
Let's
ago
hear it.
when I was filling in with Jody Mack on the midday show, and we were discussing the Mets and Art Howe. Johnny's been so good against left-handed hitters this year. I am not going to fart. I'm not going to.
Are we all
that's
thankful?
nice.
I know I'm more
That's
thankful
nice.
than anyone else on the face of the earth at this time.
Yeah, I am not going to fault Art Howe at all.
Fault art. Okay.
Yes, fault Art.
That is a tough one, Paul Dodd, yes.
That's funny. That's funny.
Not going to fault Art.
Fault Art is hard. That is tough, Fault Art.
You just set yourself up.
Yeah,
that was a rough
you were
guy.
asking
That's
for
tough.
it. You came in the room with gas. I mean,
You're listening to Mike Francesa on Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Everyone wants the best. Probably because buying the best makes you smart, which is why buying a Hyundai is smart. After all, the Hyundai Sonata was named the Consumer's Digest Best Buy. The Entourage was named Best Minivan by Motor Week, and the Azera was named Best in Class Vehicle Satisfaction by Auto Pacific. And now it's the best time to buy, because right now you can get our best deals, including one of the best cars on the road at one of our best lease prices. The Hyundai Sonata is just $199 a month for 24 months with $14.99 due at signing. It's the best time to make a really smart buy even smarter. So visit your Hyundai dealer now through July 2nd for some of our best deals, like the $199 Hyundai Sonata Leaf. 2006 Auto Pacific Inc. Vehicle Satisfaction Award. Tax title license expert. Includes $0 security deposit. Call 800-564-1560 for complete details. 2007 Hyundai Sonata GLS. Lessee has option to purchase at lease and price negotiated at signing, except for residents of Kentucky and Wisconsin. Subject to credit insurance approval and vehicle availability. Offer in 7207.
Get ready to jump up and click your heels, because if you visit Geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO, you can save hundreds on car insurance. Now, get ready to buy new pants. I think you just split yours, mate.
You know the drill. Just a pill to get through the flight, or maybe a glass of wine, maybe an antidepressant to help control your anxiety and depression, maybe a nerve pill here and there just to help you cope, maybe a drink at night just to take the edge off. And that second drink, well, who's counting? But nobody knows how much you worry, how stressed out you are, how inadequate you feel. Nobody understands the fear you have, the lack of satisfaction in your life, the loneliness. Well, I understand. I've been there. I'm Lucinda Bassett, founder of the Midwest Center. I suffered for over 20 years with anxiety, depression, panic, and stress. Maybe you don't have to depend on medication and alcohol. There's a better, long-lasting, healthy way to help yourself. Please, call right now and let me send you a powerful free tape that could change your life. Call 800-500-1434, and I'll send you this wonderful free tape. That's 800-500-1434. 1-800-500-1434.
This is Stratton Mountain Vermont Golf University, and raise your game to new levels. One-day sessions start at just $269. For details, call 1-800-STRATTON or visit stratton.com today.
Hey, Emily, what's wrong?
These corns are killing my feet. Getting rid of them has been a huge pain.
Oh.
No pun intended. I keep using my corn remover over and over, and will this ever end?
Calm down, Miss Melodrama. I use Dr. Scholl's corn removers. 2 treatments, and my corns were history.
2 treatments?
Yeah.
That's fast.
Yep, there's no easier way to remove corns quickly.
Dr. Scholl's corn removers are the only ones clinically proven to remove corns with as few as 2 treatments when used as directed.
Deb, if my feet could talk, they'd say thank you.
Reason number 22 to switch to Geico. We think renters are cool. Now, we don't know if you were born cool, or if it's just all the cool stuff you have in your apartment. The point is, if you want to protect your considerable coolness, ask Geico about renter's insurance. For as little as $12 a month, you can protect all the stuff you hold near and dear, including that combination flat-screen TV espresso machine. Now that is cool.
For a fast, easy rate quote on renter's insurance, visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
The intuitive and powerful all-wheel drive Lexus IS 250. Visit Lexus.com for more information.
When it comes to summer vacations, something always goes wrong. But when it turns out to be the funniest part of the trip, you'll want a camera with lots of memory. So go to Radio Shack for the SanDisk 2GB Ultra 2 SD memory card. On sale now for only $29.99. Not only does it let you save more, your camera will be faster, with less time between shots and quicker computer transfers. You'll save $40 if you get it now. And when your car backs into the world's largest ball of yarn, you and your camera will be thoroughly prepared.
Radio Shack. Don't just buy stuff, do stuff. Offer valid through 7707.
I'm Mike Francesa, along with Charles McCord here on the Fan. What'd you say, Dover? Oh, yeah, let me hear that. Earlier, let me set it up here. Dog did an interesting interview. Well, I was here, but Milbury and Dog got into it when Mike Milbury was, really ineffective in his job, his previous job running the Islanders, and he and Dog got into it one afternoon terribly, and became a very famous incident where they really just viciously, Dog just killed him. And they asked him somehow, some lunkhead went to him and asked him to be one of the guys to send a voicer for our 15th anniversary show.
Perfect.
And here's what he sent.
Mike and Chris, Mike Milbury from the New York Islanders. I want to be one of the lucky ones that gets to congratulate you on 15 years of solid service on the Fan. You've made it entertaining. We in the hockey business particularly appreciate your expertise, and I want to hope that you have another 15 years of great success, only I hope it's on the Mongolian Sports Network.
Pretty good. And he now is going to do TV. He's going to be on NBC, I think, next year. He's going to replace Hull as one of the analysts.
Really?
He's out of the front office, mercifully, after a disastrous run. Running the Islanders into the ground, but he has...
Loves you guys.
Yeah, he actually is a good guy.
That's fun. That's fun.
And that was actually pretty good there. So let me give you I'm debating outside, Charles, with a couple of the ones where we've been in serious debate this morning, serious negotiation.
Is this a good idea or not?
Yeah, well, we've been in serious negotiation.
We're almost there. You've gone so far.
I wanted to, Tova, give me 1993, Susan Steinbrenner's reinstatement. She had a couple of big ones early on, a couple of them with George, too. She was good at getting George, that's for sure. Susan with Steinbrenner, 1993. You see that one there?
The emotion surrounding this return is unbelievable. It's like a pendulum. It's on one side. It's real positive or real negative. Why is everyone so emotional about you coming back to baseball?
Well, I really think there are probably people, as there are in everything in sports, that's the great thing about sports, difference of opinion. That's what makes horse racing. I'll tell you, there are those people who aren't happy with George Steinbrenner, maybe, and there are those who are. And the real thing that matters to me is that what my players feel. Former and present. And during this 2.5 years, you've had time to reflect on a lot of things. Nobody does everything right, and I have a lot of dents in my armor. But I've come to the conclusion where I really think I care most about winning for New York. That's number one. That will not change.
Oh, that was George after his exile. Now, during his exile, they actually built the team. So they went from being a terrible team. And during that time, Stick Michael and Buck Showalter were able to put together a good team and keep the young guys that he would have traded off. A couple of them, a young center fielder who was timid in his early years, who George would have absolutely sent packing, and his name was Bernie Williams, and a relief pitcher who was sitting around for 2 years with nothing to do, coming off arm surgery, who he definitely would have sent packing, by the name of Mariano Rivera.
Oh, my God.
Who obviously became staples of the team and became fixtures as the Yankees went from that day in 93 to having an enormous run that began in 95, came to fruition in 96, has been remarkable through 2006, and could be, Charles, coming to an end in 2007.
But nevertheless, after the exile, welcome back, Mr. Steinbrenner. Here you are. Let's just lay that in your lap.
And things got very, very good for a long time. And as we said, it's quite apropos to hear some of these because things could finally be coming full circle because this could be the first year on the brink. And to be serious for a second, at 36 and 39, with the Indians where they are, and the Red Sox where they are, and the Tigers where they are, the Yankees are putting their toe over the cliff. Will they back off and start to win, or will they just, flip right into the abyss? They are closing in.
What do you think?
On the abyss.
Well, judging what you're looking at, the circumstances right now, do they flip?
I don't know. It's definitely right there. We are in the danger zone. And with us right now, we have a special guest, so let's welcome him in. Good morning.
Mr. Francesa, Mr. McCord, you there, me here, Dove Kramer on the other side of the glass.
Steve Summers with us this morning. Good morning, Steve.
Losing here on a lovely Thursday morning. Just a question. I know you're playing a lot of great memories from the old days, and I was fortunate enough to hear some clips from my program. I must say I'm a little disappointed. Short Al isn't being represented this morning.
He probably should have been. That was definitely an oversight on our part. We do apologize.
Nor is the night I almost burnt down my apartment trying to make some ribs. But my reason for calling is twofold. One, to speak about the top 40 songs of 1987. Who could ever forget those classic tunes of yesteryear? Coming in at 24, George Michael with a somewhat prophetic ditty, I Want Your Sex. Of course, 20 years ago, no one suspected the title of that song would become his trademark plaintive cry while cruising rest stop toilet. Number 17, Lisa and the Cult Jam, Lost in Emotion. Lisa, of course, she of the redundant name, no longer a fixture in top 40 music today. Coming in at number 12, Wang Chung's Everybody Have Fun Tonight.
Oh, classic.
Wang, of course, not someone with longevity in the music business either. Unfortunately, most folks in 1987 discovered that once they had Wang Chunged one night, there was no reason for there to be a repeat chunging. In fact, as one looks at the list of top 40 hits, one could get the impression there aren't many songs you'd want to listen to again, something which would also apply to some of the personalities on the air at the Fan back in that burgeoning year.
I would agree.
Which leads me to my second question. quite a guest list for the 20th anniversary festivities, some of the greats coming back to celebrate. I, however, have not received an invitation.
Really just an oversight. I think there will be one presently in the mail.
Oh, it's got to be.
I'm not taking it personally, although from what I understand, Short Al will be attending.
That is true.
As will Wang Chung.
And did you know, Schmoozy, that if you have nothing to do on the 14th, you could zip on over to the Brokerage Club in Belmore and go see a very funny man, Rob Bartlett.
Michael, what can I say? The check is in the mail.
You're listening to Mike Francesa on Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
It's really simple. We dream. We dream of the undefeated season and of our favorite team going all the way. We dream of that first-round draft pick and the home court advantage, of tailgates, home plates, and the coveted Grand Slam. Our dreams may take us to Cooperstown or Canton, to Hall of Fames or makeshift football fields where boundaries are marked only by street lights. But whatever dream you may choose to follow, make sure you get there, because along the way, the views can be quite spectacular. Introducing the all-new 2007 Lincoln MKX, the first crossover from Lincoln. With a 265-horsepower V6 and available intelligent all-wheel drive, it's ideal for the occasional road trip to an away game. An available panoramic vista roof means there's no longer a seat with an obstructed view. And starting at just $34,795 with tax, title, license fees, and optional equipment extra, the MKX can make any garage the ultimate trophy case. See your Tri-State Lincoln Mercury dealer for their best deal on the all-new Lincoln MKX.
Do you know the secret to unleashing your brain power? Allowing you to use more of your brain so you can read up to 1,000% faster? Hi, I'm Jeff Flam, founder of Infinite Mind. Let me send you a free demo of this secret, developed by a leading expert in brain function. Experience the secret that unlocks the real power of your brain, allowing you to read 10 books in the time it takes others to read one. Try this demo absolutely free by calling 1-800-400-3613. 1-800-400-3613. Imagine how this can help your entire family.
Work has gotten so much easier. I'm focusing more, I'm flying through emails, I'm getting a lot more done in less time. And for me, that means spending more time with my family.
My homework's faster than ever, and my grades are to the roof.
Unlock your brain's true potential. Try your free demo of IQ today, because it's only available for a limited time. For the free demo, dial 1-800-400-3613. That number again is 1-800-400-3613.
This is Robert W. Gelb, and I've been working here at The Fan for 20 years. Now, in celebration of WFAN's 20th anniversary, I pledged to you to drop 3 pounds for every year I've been at WFAN. That was in December. Well, I'm down 42 pounds to date. How, you ask? Zone Chefs. That's right, Zone Chefs. You see, every day I get 3 scrumptious meals and 2 mouth-watering snacks delivered right to my door before 5 a.m. How's that for convenience? These gastronomical delights are prepared by some of the most creative chefs in the country. If you have food restrictions, no problem. Zone Chefs will cater a plan just for you. With 120 days of variety, you'll never get bored with the food. One thing about Zone Chefs, it's not a diet to me. It's a way of life. You'll learn that you can eat great foods if you just practice portion control. It's just that simple, and you don't go hungry. Want to find out more? Call Zone Chefs toll-free at 800-597-CHEF. That's 1-800-597-2433 or online at zonechefs.com.
Brace yourselves, because I'm going to bring up a subject nobody likes to think about. Buying a used car. I know, painful. Well, I've got a painless solution. Honda certified used cars. They're well-maintained late-model Hondas. Each undergoes a 150-point inspection, then is backed with an incredible 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty from the original in-service date and a 12-month, 12,000-mile limited non-powertrain warranty. They'll even provide a Carfax vehicle history report. Hey, it may be used, but it's still a Honda. See dealer for limited warranty details.
Who doesn't love summer? The longer days, baseball games, and of course, road trips. That's why Econo Lodge and Roadway Inn Hotels are giving you a free $50 gas card. With our Easy Choice Rewards program, just redeem 6 stamps for your free $50 gas card. It's one more reason to love summer. Call 800-4CHOICE or visit choicehotels.com today. We'll see you there.
Earn 1 stamp per night. Maximum 5 stamps for qualifying stay. Redeem 6 stamps between 6/1 and 8/16/07 to receive gas card. For details, visit easychoiceonline.com.
Tracy Burgess with the Hyundai Fan Highway Patrol, brought to you by Home Depot. Learn how to make your yard stand out. Speak to our certified nursery consultants and find it easy to grow. They grow flowers and look for the freshest plants from the local growers every week. The Home Depot, you can do it, and we can help. On the Cross Island Parkway southbound at the LIE, accident has been cleared. Gowanus BQE northbound. Still slow in between 65th Street and Hamilton Avenue. That's because of an accident that was blocking the right lane. We have some problems on Van Wyck northbound after the Grand Central accident. All lanes are subject to closure. Delays go back to Atlantic Avenue. That's northbound, remember. And White Plains, we have a problem on 287 eastbound at exit 5. An accident, it's working right now. I don't have any lanes closed they're telling us about, but it's out there, so slowing things down. The WFAN 3-day forecast, some clouds today, some breaks of sun, but some showers around all day long, and 90 degrees. Another muggy day. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, maybe some showers in the morning, clears out, high upper 70s. A beautiful Saturday on tap, mostly sunny, low 80s. Currently 75 degrees and hazy, sticky in Central Park. I'm Tracy Burgess with the Hyundai Fan Highway Patrol.
Thank you, Tracy. Good morning. I'm Mike Francesa, along with Charles McCord on the Fan and across the country. Charles, a couple things. One, give me that San Martino line. That doesn't help Mr. McMahon very much.
This was from a USA Today article.
Vince McMahon's not going to be happy with this one.
No, I mean, this is a whole investigation. I mean, it's got some startling statistics and everything in it about how wrestlers have death rates about 7 times higher than the general
U.S.
population.
Going in 30s and stuff, too.
They're 12 times more likely to die from heart disease than other Americans 25 to 45. They're 20 times more likely to die before 45 than are pro football players.
Wow.
They don't test for performance-enhancing drugs. One reason, the use of steroids and other drugs has gone largely unchecked. And then this quote from Bruno Sammartino said, quote, "There was a joke. If you didn't test positive for steroids, you were fired."
So basically, you better be doing your due diligence, which was taking steroids.
Honest to God. And Roddy Piper, a little bit about what he went through. Piper said he never forgot what he heard as a penniless teenager. Said, quote, "A promoter said to me, 'If you die, kid, die in the ring. It's good for business.'" That's rough.
That's rough.
Oh, my God. There's
and you know, someone put out a statistic recently. They said now current boxers, they said it's like 80%. They think use some kind of performance enhancing drugs. 80%.
Do you think that there is not a sport that is effective
rampant
to some
sport.
degree?
Absolutely. Horse racing rampant. And baseball now rampant. I think in every sport.
I'm sure there's some sports. Starting how young? Like high school?
I think that's the fear. I think you do get it on.
I mean, isn't it turning up in high school programs?
There's a lot of places, Charles, where you know, a lot of theory on that there's kids who aren't even athletes who just to go to the beach and look good.
Yes.
You know, to get the girls, just to go to the beach and
human growth hormone and that kind of stuff.
To pump their muscles. You get it? And we're just going to find out in the next 20 to 30 years the enormous damning effect of what this does to your body.
The damage it does.
It's incredible. And what it does, it'll end your life earlier because it does incredible damage to your organs.
Yeah, but
so
but I got some chicks when I was 16. Whoopee.
What do you have? Well, hand it to me. Just circle it. I'll read it. Give me. What is this? This
This is just a thing from their website, from WWE's website.
So they're everywhere, just basically trying to defend this. But you know it's very hard to defend this, and you don't look good defending it. Where you circled?
Yeah.
Where is this from?
This is the front page of the WWE website, and it's written like a story, like they're journalists.
Right.
WWE.com.
Oh, so this is their propaganda right here. Okay.
Yes, and their statement.
Now, it says here that
it's not a statement, it's like a story.
Benoit's son suffered from Fragile X syndrome, which we have friends who have a son who has Fragile X syndrome. A co-worker and longtime friend of the Benoit speculates that... Is that Benoit? Is that his name? Benoit?
Yes, yeah.
A co-worker and longtime friend of Benoit speculates that perhaps the pressures of home and Daniel's illness had gotten to him, causing him to snap and take the lives of his wife and son before taking his own. This is from the WWE website, and this is in quotes. Is it possible that after Chris killed Nancy, for whatever reason, he felt Daniel wouldn't be able to get the care and attention he required as a special needs child? With no mother and a father either in jail or dead, did he then decide that the only way that could protect or take care of his son was to take him to the next world and go with him? Who had the nerve to write something like this?
This is my point. They wrote it like a story.
In his warped and twisted state, did he think this was the only way to shield his son from a difficult life of pain and hardship? It doesn't condone or justify a damn thing, but it's the best reason I can think of. I'm trying to put together some semblance of logic for his actions, but it's an impossible task trying to explain this. Who said that?
They didn't name a person.
A co-worker and longtime friend speculates.
And they didn't say who that co-worker was or anything like that. Look at that.
I mean, that is... it's deplorable.
It really is.
I mean, to protect your own rear end here, don't try to protect your rear end here. I mean, that is deplorable.
How bad is that?
That is just, it's unconscionable.
Why would you engage in that?
Here it is, this horrific act, and you're going to try to justify this action in some way to make it a noble way of caring for his son? I mean, come on now, please.
We're talking about this past weekend. Can't we give the investigation a little bit of a chance here? Can we wait?
Well, they've gone so far. They have obviously such enormous exposure to steroid problems. They have such a steroid issue, which I'm not even that aware. I understand there was a big fight years ago with Mushnick and McMahon. Even the time we had McMahon on the show, we called in and we had a big blah, blah, blah. And listen, I've never paid that much attention to it. It's not the only sport that has steroid problems, that's for sure. It probably has more extreme steroids problems than these other sports do because to the level of, the way they try to the level of enhancement that these wrestlers look for is so extreme that they probably do much more massive doses because of the level of enhancement. They're trying to get to a certain enormity that other athletes aren't trying to achieve.
Mike, here in that USA Today thing I referred to, they quote a guy, Scott the Raven Levy, said he used steroids more than 200 pain pills daily before he finally kicked the habit a few years ago. And here's his quote in USA Today. Said, "It's part of the job," Levy says. "If you want to be a wrestler, you have to be a big guy, to your point, Mike, and you have to perform in pain. If you choose to do neither, pick another profession."
You're out. So basically, what we're finding out is steroids is it is basically part of the business.
Yeah, Bruno Sammartino said there was a joke. If you didn't test positive, you were fired. Maybe it's not. How much of a joke is it?
But to take this to the idea now, are there pressures in having a Fragile X child? Absolutely. Is it an easy life? No. I said we have friends who have a wonderful, gorgeous little kid. It's a very tough thing for the parents. It's a very high level of care. It's very, very tough. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But to then go from there
and make this jump,
to make that jump to protect your rear end about steroid abuse is unconscionable. It's really disgraceful. Stay away from it. I mean, stay away from it.
And the thing that I love, they wrote it like it was a journalistic story.
I mean, come on. Basically, here what we're doing, we're trying to clear our rear ends. Well, you're not going to clear your rear end. That's all there is to it. You are not going to make anybody not believe that this guy had some kind of steroids. Now, no one's making a jump that took him to here. Because I think that's an irrational jump to say that automatically because he did steroids on a large level that he was going to kill his family.
Yeah.
That this is automatically roid rage. I don't know that to be the case, or does anybody else, I would think. Does it contribute to it? Probably. Did it help contribute to his demise? I'm sure. But, I mean, like I said, Charles, we can go investigate many of these cases. Did the young lady in Houston who drowned her whole family, was she doing steroids when she drowned her whole family? Of course not. There are levels of mental, disorders and level of people who are off their rocker that have nothing to do with any drugs they took. So let's not just make blanket statements. But for them to go to the level they are going to put together almost a press tour, from going to the Today Show to handing out press releases, they look guilty just by their own actions.
And today is Thursday, and this was Monday.
I mean, they didn't even let them to mourn over the bodies yet. Really, all they care about is their own rear ends. They're not,
their own body.
That's it. I mean, please.
I know.
I mean, and to try and put yourself in any way in a position for anyone to say why this happened or to justify it, to try and clear the wrestling community's, use of steroids.
Well,
come on.
You just shouldn't be speculating at this point in time, particularly.
Stay away from it.
Absolutely.
I mean, and they're rushing to say, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. You don't know what he was doing. Clearly, the guy had had huge issues with steroids. But as you say here, Charles, and as you hear more and more with these sports, to perform on this level, like someone asked a boxer, why you do it. He says, if I don't, I can't compete. The guy I'm going in the ring with has an edge then on me. He's got a 20-30% physical edge on me.
I have to come up with whatever he's...
I got to retire. As you just said, the guy can't... If you want to compete, that is what you are forced to do to compete.
How the hell do you ever get this under control?
You don't, because if the money's there, Charles, here's the kicker that all you need to know. They gave the Olympians 3 Olympics back a test. And part of the test was they said, if you could take a substance now that would ensure you to win a gold medal, these were Olympic-level athletes, but it would end your life in your 50s, would you take it? This was given to people ranging, let's say, from 18 to 27, 8 years old. 80% said yes. That is the performance mentality you are dealing with on that level.
Well, then you just said it. You don't get it under control.
You don't.
You can't.
First of all, at 20, they think 50 is 100 years away.
Because as technology changes and medical technology changes, they're going to get increasingly broad options that are going to be more and more difficult to detect.
Winning and money is their objectives. They want to compete, and they want to win, and they want to get rich, and they want to get famous.
But not live to a ripe old age.
At any cost.
You gods.
And that's the problem that you're dealing with. But for them to go and try and make it some other issue, and to go run and have this campaign days after this horrific event, is unconscionable.
And you're...
It's unconscionable.
Money.
Money? Hey, is it always? Hey.
The bottom of the bottom line.
Is it always?
You're absolutely right.
Is it ever anything else?
You're listening to Mike Francesa on Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Here's Carrie Pearson, fashion designer, who can't say enough about the Canon Image Press C1.
So I worked all these nights and weekends on our new spring fashion collection, and the stress level was really off the charts. I drank too many low-fat lattes, and I didn't sleep for, I think, like 12 straight nights. But you know what? I shouldn't have stressed. Why, you ask? I'll tell you. Our studio started using this Canon Image Press C1. What's all that mean? Great accuracy, quality, and consistent image quality I'm talking to die for. And when I saw the proofs of the brochures, they were literally a sight for sore eyes because my eyes were so tired from lack of sleep. The photos, colors, and designs looked so fabo. We started using the Canon Image Press C1 for newsletters and collateral to promote the spring collection. Tons of stuff. We get all the materials out and never miss a deadline. And now we are hotter than ever. And no doubt, that's pretty hot.
Produce, persuade, perform, on paper, with the Canon Image Press C1. People can't say enough about it. Call 1-800-OK-CANON for a dealer near you.
Although I'm still not sleeping because I'm so excited and I'm hooked on low-fat lattes. I don't know,
The car you've always wanted at a price you can afford. Visit your local Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer during their certified pre-owned event and enjoy special financing on select models through Mercedes-Benz Financial. Now through July 31st. Visit searchmercedes.com today for details. StubHub! Listen up, sports fans. Over the past few years, you've heard that StubHub is the best place to buy and sell tickets. So why should you use StubHub? Here's one reason: you're a sports fan. You have season tickets, you have extra season tickets, so you go to StubHub.com, sell your extras, and get cash. Here's another reason: you're a sports fan, and you want good seats for the game. You go to StubHub, find the tickets you want, and get them delivered to your doorstep. StubHub! Hey, baseball fans, got extra Yankee tickets for an upcoming game? Don't let your tickets go to waste. Go to StubHub, list your tickets for free, set your price, and then wait for a buyer to come along and snag them. It's that easy. They even make shipping your tickets painless, so go to StubHub and give another fan a chance to see a game or a show. That's right. Fans can even sell tickets to concerts and Broadway shows on StubHub. StubHub makes sure that buyers get authentic tickets on time and sellers get paid quickly, all through their industry-first Fan Protect Guarantee. To sell your sports, concert, and theater tickets today, visit StubHub.com or call 1-866-StubHub. StubHub, where fans buy and sell tickets. StubHub!
No matter where you go this summer, Goodyear gives you the freedom to get there. And now, during the Goodyear Freedom to Get There tire sale, get up to a $50 mail-in cash card with the purchase of 4 select Goodyear tires. Or double your cash card up to $100 when you make the purchase on your Goodyear credit card. Offers end July 21st. Call 1-877-GOODYEAR or go to GoodyearDealers.com/Tri-State for complete details of the Tri-State area Goodyear tire professionals near you. Certain restrictions and conditions apply. Goodyear credit card purchases subject to credit approval.
WFAN's 20th anniversary celebration is brought to you by Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward. Verizon Wireless. Verizon Wireless is America's most reliable wireless network. The New Jersey Lottery. Give your dreams a chance. Corbel Champagne. Celebrate your great moment. Pizza Hut. Want more? Get it from Pizza Hut, America's favorite pizza. Alpine Lace Deli Swiss cheese. So full-flavored you won't believe it's 25% less fat. And by your flagship station for New York sports for 20 years, The Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
Copyright 2007, CBS Radio. All rights reserved. This program is a production of WFAN and Westwood One.
It's the WFAN Reunion Weekend.
Good morning, Governor Clinton.
Good morning, Don.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm disappointed you didn't call me Bubba. It's an honorable term where I come from. It's just southern for Mensch.
This Saturday and Sunday, here on your flagship station for New York sports for 20 years. And now, .com, The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
WFAN, New York, 2024.
Good morning at 10 o'clock. I'm Chris Carlin, and this report is brought to you by Bridgewater Acura.
Runners lead, first and second, 2 out. Pitch. Swung on and grounded weakly to first. Gomez fields. Flips to Bradford in time. Ball game over. Orioles win.
And just like that, the Yankees had their 7th loss in 8 games. John Sterling, the call on WCBS. 4-0 shutout at the hands of the Orioles. Aubrey Huff with a 3-run homer and a 4-run 6. Roger Clemens now just 1-3 with a 5.32 ERA.
You're aggressive in that situation. You don't run from that situation, and you stay aggressive. And Aubrey got a ball with some backspin on it and shot it out of here.
Chen Ming Wong pitches tonight against Daniel Cabrera as the Yankees close the road trip. Tom Glavine needed only to pitch 6 innings, but he got win number 297. 2-0 shutout of the Cardinals in a rain-shortened affair. David Wright supplied all the offense, 2-run homer in the first inning, and the Mets have won 5 of 6. They send El Duque to the mound tonight against Adam Wainwright. Mets Extra 6:30 right here on The Fan. At Wimbledon on the men's side today, top seed Roger Federer completed his rain-suspended match from yesterday, advanced in straight sets. James Blake won the first 2 sets, leads Andre Pavel 3-2 in the third, and Tim Henman won the first 2 sets from Feliciano Lopez. He leads 2-1 in the third. Meanwhile, Venus Williams over on the women's side advances to the third round in straight sets. This report is brought to you by United Rentals, newest Manhattan branch. Stop by the newest United Rentals branch at 540 West 44th Street from 2 to 6 p.m. on June 28th. Enjoy a late lunch, take a tour, and enter to win great prizes. United Rentals, consider it done. And WFAN wants to remind you can join the iBank when the Mets take on the Pirates Tuesday, July 24th. For a special ticket offer, call 1-800-507-TIXX and mention the code iBank. Current Central Park temperature, 78 degrees under cloudy skies. And that's what's happening. This is Chris Carlin with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for Mike and the Mad Dog. Today from 1 to 6:30 and now streaming at WFAN.com.
Imagine you're in a beautiful Acura dealership surrounded by hundreds of brand new 2007 models. And every Acura has the lowest price and most affordable lease payment you've ever seen. You know you want one. But are you dreaming? No. You're in 07 heaven at Bill Vince's Bridgewater Acura. Bridgewater Acura has out-of-this-world savings on every 2007 Acura in stock while supplies last. Choose from the hottest Acura models, the TL and TSX Sport Sedan, the turbocharged RDX, the 8-passenger MDX, and more. Bridgewater Acura also has great savings on all their quality pre-owned vehicles. And nobody does pre-owned like Bridgewater Acura. They're the #1 certified pre-owned Acura dealer in New Jersey for the 3rd year in a row. Put yourself at 07 heaven at Bridgewater Acura and get out-of-this-world savings on a 2007 Acura or quality pre-owned car. Bridgewater Acura is an Acura Precision Team Award winner for the 2nd consecutive year. They worked hard for that honor, and they'll work hard for you. Bill Vince's Bridgewater Acura, Route 22 West, Bridgewater, New Jersey, and at BridgewaterAcura.com.
It's Joe Beningo and Evan Roberts on The Fan.
10:04 on The Fan, and a very good Thursday morning to you. It's the midday show. Joe Beningo, Evan Roberts, 718-937-6666 is the phone number. Carrying you right through until 1 o'clock when, of course, the Mike and the Mad Dog program will come your way. Bobby Dwyer, the incomparable Sugar Ray Martell, on the other side of the glass. And Ev, my man, I'll tell you what, the Yankees ship, I mean, it's beyond holes now. I mean, the water
is really starting to take over now.
Yeah.
As far as that Yankee ship, what a disaster! They lose again to the Orioles last night. Shutout 4-0. It's you don't know what to say anymore. They've lost 7 out of 8 now on this road trip. They got 4 hits last night. I know Bedard's a very good pitcher. They got 4 hits last night against him and the relief corps, Walker and then Bradford to close out the game. The Yankees right now, we're almost at the point as we get to July where you're almost going to have to say this team is done.
Oh, boy.
I mean, they are closing in on done.
The ship be sinking, and the ship is close to being sunk. The Pope, Roger Clemens, as you call him, goes last night. And you know what? He was good for 5 minutes.
He was tremendous for 5 innings.
He was okay. He got touched up in the 6th, fine. But this offense, I mean,
my God.
Look, I understand Bedard's got good stuff. Bedard's a nice pitcher, and I know they've had trouble against lefties, but you've got to manage more than what they did. 2 hits in 7 innings against this
Amazing.
guy. 1 walk, 3 base runners against Eric Bedard. This offense is beyond inept right now, and you look at the numbers, I mean, it's pathetic, and that's what it comes down to. It comes down to the offense. You can't expect 9 scoreless innings from your starting pitching, and that's the only way they'd be winning games recently. It all comes down to how inept this offense has been, and I'm sorry, I know making a trade seems like the right thing to do, and you think, I think they need to add something, but that something is not Shea Hillenbrand. Shea Hillenbrand is not going to come in
No
here
way.
and all of a sudden spark this offense. It has become pathetic, and Joe Torre has said it best. He doesn't know what to say. I don't know if there is anything to say about this team. They cannot score runs, and until they do, they've got no shot, and they are completely burying themselves in this race for the wild card. Forget the division, the wild card. They are burying themselves right now, and you can no longer say it's only May because it's about to be only July, and the Yankees look dead right now.
Hey, look, you take a look at this road trip, and this has been just about as big a disastrous road trip as the Yankees I can remember in many years the Yankees having.
On this station, which has been one of the most successful stations in the country for 2 decades, that we had the same drive times, the same teams for 18 years. And a lot of that, obviously, of what we've done here, what Dog and I have done, the success we've had has been built, a lot of it on the shoulders of Don Imus, so we will, and Chuck and the Imus in the Morning program, so we will go back to listen a lot of that this morning. We also got a lot of sports to do this morning. Nick trade to analyze, and there's a lot to analyze there. You can come down on either side, and you can have a strong opinion either way. The Celtics make a big trade. The Yankees get a break last night because that game definitely could have gone to the toppling before the Yankees ever hit in that inning.
Absolutely.
And the Orioles were incensed about that. So the Yankees, they didn't. A lot of people are writing that the Yankees couldn't catch a break even when they got the lead. Instead, you could make the case the Yankees caught a big break because that could have been rained out and they could have been a loss.
They caught an enormous break.
Absolutely. I mean, the Orioles were throwing stuff. About the fact that why didn't you start top of the inning and you put the top on?
And it was pouring when Jeter got that base hit.
Yeah.
Oh,
so the Yankees actually, in my mind, and I think all minds, collective minds, caught a break.
I think you're right.
Last night. But let's begin, guys, with, so many mornings here. You hear Imus about his election days and how he kicked off his mornings going to the polls, and it was always a ritual, and that's the way we will kick off this morning's program.
Do we have this tape of me voting?
Yes, that is available.
Okay, let's run that now. This is me voting this morning, Joe.
Okay.
You have to listen on the radio. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing, baby?
Good, thanks. Good, and you?
Huh?
Good, and you?
I'm fine.
I'm actually an inspector here, so I'm setting up the tables, and either I'm working outside or I'm going to be working inside. I'm doing the polls, and
good for you. Like your hat.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah.
Where'd you get that?
I got that actually after September 11th in front of Mount Sinai.
You ever done the news on TV? Have you ever thought about being a newscaster?
Yeah.
You'd be great on MSNBC, really, you would.
I've actually, I've been on TV a few times.
Oh, you have?
Spoken, I'm on the news a few times, yeah.
You ever heard of Rick Sanchez?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Well, you remind me a lot of him. So.
Really, why?
Yeah. Well, anyway, hang in there.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Good luck. Thanks.
I'll say,
How are you?
2430 7th Avenue.
Standing around trying to get somebody. There's 8 people there at the voting booth. They'll look up my name and.
Are you going to vote?
Am I going to vote?
Are you here to vote?
No, I came in to try to get a seat. Of course I'm here to vote.
No. Sorry, the question doesn't sound right, but, you know, like,
I'm here to vote. It's time to vote. No, what would I be there for? Imus, I am yours. This is not going well. Same lady, been here every year. Yeah. Bless her heart. She looks better this year, actually. Got her freak on this morning. Is Cuomo still running?
I beg your pardon?
Is Cuomo still running?
No, I
want to vote for him.
You can write him.
I like the old man better than the kid, but still.
John P. Imus.
That's me.
Here you are, sir. Sign under here. Okay.
This is not the most exciting radio I've ever experienced. If you got 5 or 6 people, they have no clue what's going on. Want your pen back?
What about the letters over here?
Well, they don't have any idea. They have no clue. Oh, kid, they should be voting in Florida.
But I'm talking about the letters right here. CG, RTL.
This is all for me to vote. They can't figure out how to operate the booth.
Yeah, this time of the election, that's just for the Republicans, the Democrats.
Okay, all right.
You gotta be kidding. Is anybody in there? I don't want to go in and find somebody in there. Somebody, what now? Sure there's nobody in there? Guy takes a leak.
When you go in there, take that red letter and pull it all the way to your right.
Okay.
And then vote. And after you finish completing the voting, pull it back to its original position.
That would be to the left, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to confuse her. This is pretty simple. Oh, man. Is that woman behind her dead?
She's going to tell me, and because I'm not sure exactly what.
Holy
God, what a mess.
Oh, no kidding. I mean, you can't make up how ridiculous it is, can you? It's a horrible mess. And they just say they don't have any idea how to operate the...
But what if there were heavy voter turnout?
Oh, well, they...
I mean, how many people were in there voting right then?
Me.
One person. All of that confusion for one person.
No way that vote counts. There's no way that even got registered.
No way.
No way.
No.
What's your name?
It is amazing that anybody ever gets elected in this country. If they hear the chaos over one vote. You couldn't make that lady up.
And you remember...
Pull the lever all the way to the left.
We always did that anytime there was an election, and it never improved.
How good is that?
Remember, he always ran into Leroy Neiman?
Yeah, always.
Every time it was
sketching something.
It was Leroy Neiman was in that same district, and they'd always run into just nuts.
Rich old guys voting. It's funny. Every year they did that. Here we go. We got a lot to do this morning. You hear a lot from the Imus in the Morning program. Doug and I got to get to the Knicks trade, the Celtic trade, the Yanks suspension, everything else going on in sports. So a very busy Friday program as we move towards the reunion weekend or the anniversary celebration weekend of the Fan with all the hosts coming back over the next couple of days. We'll tell you what's going to happen all weekend long. We're with some headlines on some national stories. Here's Charles McCord. Charles?
And among the headline stories this morning, Mike.
Charles,
sir.
along with Dog, Mike and the Mad Dog here. I know the Imus in the Morning program made numerous trips up to Providence.
Yep.
Always had a lot of fun with their very, very colorful and controversial mayor.
You're right.
What do you remember about Buddy Cianci?
Buddy Cianci was a wonderful guest. You remember that guy.
Sure.
I mean, he was a figure right out of, I mean, you couldn't make him up. He was almost like a fictional character. He was terrific. He was beloved in that town. If you recall, had done great things for Providence and all that sort of stuff, but controversial? Yes, he was. And he did have
a few problems.
Poor Buddy finally went down in what was called Operation Plunder Dome. Remember that? And he was criminal charges of racketeering, conspiracy, extortion, so on, so on. Make a long story short, he was found guilty of a single charge of conspiracy. And interesting that we should go to this a little bit. He was released on May 30th this year into a halfway house, and I just noticed that his his actual term, he's done his time, was up on July 28th. So, I mean, this is very current that we should remember Buddy Cianci, who was a frequent guest on the Imus in the Morning.
And we will do that right now.
Anyway, please welcome to the Imus in the Morning program and here to the Biltmore Hotel, the Mayor of Providence, Rhode Island, Buddy Cianci. Good morning, Mayor.
Everybody! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, and welcome to my home.
Thank you very much.
It's nice to have you in the living room here.
I tried it.
Best move I ever made was moving in here. It's a great hotel. And I bought my last roll of toilet paper, that's for sure. I use all the towels I want.
I tried to get them to take me to your room when I got here. They wouldn't do that, so.
Well, we have to be careful who we associate with these days, you know?
Man, I'm just, thank God my name hasn't come up. Anyway,
well, it can, you know, if you want. I just want you to know, to start things off right, you know, we have a street named after you.
I know that. Yeah.
And right up the street here, it's called Imus Way. We had to take the sign down because the circus was in town, because every year when Barnum and Bailey's come, we make it Clown's Alley for a week. But there was no one who was confused on directions. Everybody knew Imus Way was the same as Clown Alley, which was terrific.
Thank you.
But it's right by the Civic Center.
So I turn on the television and I see, I was watching Channel 12 actually, which is a pretty good channel, and they're devoting the whole broadcast to Plunder Dome.
Yeah, that's, well, if I'm not commenting on the trial, but I can comment a little about the media. Channel 12 and Channel 10 have this competition, Channel 10 being the NBC station and Channel 12 being another one, and I think there's CBS. And evidently Channel 10 has always been chased by Channel 12 for ratings, and 10 has a contract with Oprah that goes till 5 o'clock. And so they have to keep Oprah on until 5. And so Channel 12, I guess, to build up their ratings, started this show called Plunder Dome. I don't get a chance to see it very often because I'm always in court, but but I understand it's the same thing every day. You know, it's kind of a recap. And
well, I saw you interviewed, and the reporter said, "Well, why are you going to go on Imus? Isn't he going to ask you all about the trial?" And I want to make clear that I haven't. And I'm being serious. I have enormous respect for the judge's order, the judicial system. And so I wouldn't try to ask you about testimony or about, but I mean, generally we can discuss, I guess. And but if you can't answer, then obviously you'll let me know that.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate the fact that you respect the order, because I am under an order that I can't talk about the case or witnesses or credibility of witnesses, and I intend to follow the judge's order. And the reporter asked me yesterday, well, you know, how is Imus going to let you get away with that? I said, well, I think that the agreement is that I come on and I can't talk about the case. And by the way, I wanted to come on your show. I don't do a lot of interviews, but I did want to come on yours because this is my 13th appearance on your show.
Wow.
And I've enjoyed every one of them. And I'll never, before you had the television, MSNBC, doing this every day, I'll never forget getting on a plane in New York, connecting flight, and I sat next to a fellow, and he said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Providence." He said, "Oh," he says, "I listened to Imus, and that mayor from Providence was always on Imus. Do you know the mayor?" And I said, "No, I don't know the mayor." And that's almost as bad as going to trial. I'll tell you.
How's this been on you, just personally?
It's been a kind of a different experience, I must say. I've always been...
Well, you've been on trial before, haven't you?
Well, no, I never...
You haven't?
Yeah, 12 previous times, right here with you.
Okay.
But anyway, I'll tell you what's good about it. What's good about it is the fact that you get to really see how the American system of justice works and how proud I am to be an American, because let me tell you, without those protections and without being judged the way I feel I'm being judged, I like to say now that the system works, and I'm proud of that, and I'm proud to be an American. Secondly, I'm also proud of the fact that when I walk down the street, everybody seems to be putting their thumbs up and victory signs and clapping and all that. And that's also very, very rewarding. It makes you feel good. The other part is trying to run a city at the same time you're on trial. And with trial days are about 4.5 to 5 hours. But I get up around 6:30 in the morning, 6:15. Of course, this morning I was up earlier because you made all the noise. But most of the time I'm up around 6:30 or so, 6:15. And I meet with my chief of staff and have breakfast. And I'm in court by about
10 o'clock, 5 of 10, and then I go back to my office around 12:30 and meet with my staff and have a quick sandwich and sign whatever I have to sign, and then at 4:30 I'm back in my office and I keep a full schedule.
Open the mail.
Pardon?
Open the mail, something like that.
Yeah, we open the mail, and actually the staff does that.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
Just proceed.
Well, just an envelope joke, that's all. What's wrong with that?
I never, you see, that shows you how innocent I really am, Imus. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That would be...
Well, I noticed, first thing I noticed when I saw you is that your hair had turned gray.
Well, I can change that anytime I want.
Great stuff. He was a great guest.
And just what a coincidence that his sentence formally ended yesterday.
That is interesting.
Yesterday. And he would be eligible to run for mayor of Providence again when his probation is over in 3 years.
Probably win, too, I bet you.
Landslide. Landslide. We got a lot more to do this morning. A lot of sports stuff. There's a lot going on with LaDuca. We'll delve into that. A lot going on with ESPN. They got a little nightmare going there. Trades, baseball.
So you think the Knicks made the right move here?
Yes, I would do it. It's a risk. It's a risk of blow up in their face, dog.
I would do it, too.
But they got themselves a player that they needed, a big player, and they got themselves a player who could be very dominant and very, very good.
No, you made a good point in the East.
In the East. In the West, he's playing against the Tim Duncans of the world, the Garnetts of the world every night. In the East, he don't have those players to play against.
Now, one thing you'd wonder about now, he wants the ball so much, Curry, and they got Marbury.
I agree.
Marbury,
Issue. A lot of issues. Issues on the court, selfishness, off the court, has a penchant for strip clubs. Well, welcome to New York.
He's got plenty of them to go to. 62 million, too. 63 million.
Hey, you can wake up any morning and he could be not in a bar, but behind bars.
We'll come back. Mike and Chris, don't go away.
You're listening to Mike and the Mad Dog on Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
If you or anyone around you might be sensitive to information regarding a shocking offer on the Volvo S40 and Volvo S60, please cover your ears. If you're driving...
As we celebrate the fans' 20th anniversary this weekend, a lot going on. Began yesterday with the countdown of the top 20 events. The Rangers winning the Cup in '94 was number 1, followed by the Giants. Super Bowl win over the Bills and the Yankees in '96. And we're also looking back at the brilliant 18 years that Don Imus has given the fan here. And the work he's done, and we look back at some of the stuff, and obviously a big part of the program has always been Brandt, who is Imus's longtime loyal driver, and he can do anything but drive. You need him to do something, get you something, great, except he can't drive, and he can't follow directions, and he's the only guy I ever heard who came in one day and told Don that the limo had been stolen from a parking garage.
The only driver we know of who didn't know where he was going.
I had no idea where he was going. And you also hear a little bit of one of the frequent callers to the program, the beloved Bill from White Plains. It was always very funny. Will chip in, so let's listen.
Brandt has been driving me for how long? 25 years.
At least. Sure.
Brandt's been driving the limo for 25 years.
Yeah.
I said to Brandt, I want to go down, well, I thought I wanted to go to Broadway, to 379 Broadway, to the Polo Shop. But the Polo Shop, not the one uptown in Madison and 72nd, the one downtown, is on West Broadway.
Okay.
So we get down on Broadway, we're on Broadway, at around in the 300 block, and there's no Polo Shop, so we call my office, and Julie says, it's West Broadway.
Easy enough, yeah.
So West Broadway is a block west of Broadway.
Duh, yes.
But Brandt gets on OnStar.
He uses OnStar for that?
Right.
I didn't think you should use it for directions. You should?
Yeah.
You can use it for a liquor store if you want.
Use it for anything.
You're kidding. I always thought it was an emergency kind of thing.
So he gets an OnStar operator, and the OnStar operator...
This is Jerome. Can I help you?
...doesn't understand and gives him... and I'm thinking... I'm not saying too much, but I'm thinking... Brandt has been driving in Manhattan for over half his life.
Professionally.
Professional driver.
Yeah.
Been driving in Manhattan for over half his life, and he's on OnStar.
I know. New York City, what state is that in, please?
And so the woman gives him some sort of goofy directions.
Yeah.
We just have to go. And so he can't. So 3 calls later to OnStar, I'm on the phone with Bernard, and I said, Bernard, where's West Broadway? Because why would I know? So it's a block west of Broadway. Meanwhile, I can't talk to Bernard. I'm in the back seat because Brandt is now screaming at the OnStar.
Oh, and the OnStar people do a great job.
I'm trying to work with you, please. I'm trying to work with you. What state is New York City in?
Oh, you know, you shouldn't be bothering OnStar taking up their operator time with that.
That's exactly the conversation. The guy, well, I forget whether it was a woman or a guy. And they're trying to explain to Brandt, and Brandt is furious, of course.
Well, I'm lost, and I don't know where it is.
And Brandt said, is exasperated, waving his arms, saying, "You're not helping me."
Which way is west?
As he is talking to OnStar, I look up out the front window, and I said, "Brandt, there's West Broadway." It's right in front of us.
Oh, you better check to see if you left your baby on top of your car, too. You don't sound all right. You don't sound all there, bro.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, I-Man. It's Bill from White Plains.
I know that.
Remember me?
Yes, I do.
I've been away a long time.
I know you have.
I've become a roadie for the Flatlanders.
You son of a...
You know what my main job is?
No.
I push their wheelchairs. Some show you got there. You're the host?
Yes.
Music from the Flatlanders?
Yeah.
Warner Wolf on sports?
Yeah.
Who's your guest in the 8 o'clock hour? Bob Hope? You got Christy Musumeci. What's the matter? Helen Hayes was
Well, that NBA season didn't end soon enough. If you're trying to work on that material, huh, Bill?
Funny. How good is Breen?
Oh, he's funny. He's funny.
No one was better on sports on that show than Breen.
Oh, funny.
Breen was hilarious.
Oh, my God.
You know that?
Yep.
Best utilizer of tape ever.
Ever, and he's funny.
Ever. And
he's
he's just flat out funny. I mean, the guy you see doing the games on the NBA, you would
totally
never
different.
realize is this absolutely hilarious guy.
I mean, brilliant sense of humor. That's all you can say, Mike.
That was good. Bill in White Plains. How much do we love that? So we got a lot going on this morning. You're going to hear these IMS things throughout the morning. We got some great ones coming up, including one that actually changed the landscape of America a little bit and changed the IMS in the morning program, which we'll get to at the start of the next hour. A lot going on. Nick trade. Big trade. All right, they traded for a guy who's got a little bit of a rap sheet. A little bit. I mean, this guy makes Pac-Man Jones look like a choir boy.
Yeah,
So they really roll the dice, right?
That might be overstating a little bit with Pac-Man Jones, but you get the point.
Well, you get the point.
He's been a little bit in trouble.
When you're desperate, you have to take a chance on guys like
and
this.
the Celtics got right back in the mix. Crushed that they didn't get Oden or Durant. They got right back in the mix, and they now are going to be, dog, with the two young guys playing inside and point, and the two perimeter scorers that really Pierce and Ray Allen. That is a good-looking team.
The Celtics, again, they have 60 points every night. I mean, you tell me where they're not getting six. They got Allen and Pierce at 60 a night. They can get 30 more. So Celtics got a chance to be a pretty good team.
And can you blame baseball for giving the Yankees a little bit? As soon as the Yankees got the leading run across the plate last night, Copeland.
It was Brandon Hart. Boy, oh boy. And Jeter, you know, I tell you though, it's funny, Mike, when Damon scored off that Jeter hit in the top of the eighth, the Yankee dugout stopped, was alive.
Finally.
You notice that?
Yes, listen.
Andy Phillips.
Desperate.
Torrey, that Yankee was alive because they had a terrible inning. And one thing about Wong, can we now calm down on Wong?
I agree. Okay.
This is 2 games in a row now.
Very bad.
They had to have Wong respond.
And
San Francisco, he stunk.
He didn't.
And he was bad last night. Can I now lay low with Wong being an all-time great pitcher?
Yes, you can. That is very fair. He has not pitched to his resume. I agree with you about Wong. He has been disappointing, especially in those 6th and 7th innings when you need him to nail it down. I agree. And then 2 other big things. We have painted the Mets as camp happiness. Well, no longer. We will get to that in the next hour. And then, if you are a Disney executive or you are an ESPN executive, your Cheerios aren't going down that good this morning. Because, boy, the last thing you want is an ugly, revealing sexual harassment suit, and they look like they got a whopper on their head.
Hey, if they fired Howard Reynolds over something like this.
You got some accusations here. Now, I don't know about credibility, and I don't know what I don't know what her credibility is, and I'm not saying I know right from wrong here about which one, they're accusations at this point. But I'll tell you something. This is the kind of publicity that you do not want if you are the quote-unquote world leader in sports. As ESPN likes to think of themselves across the world. But ESPN, boy, I tell you, they do not like this kind of publicity.
Yeah, we'll come back, Mike and Chris. Don't go away.
You're listening to Mike and the Mad Dog on Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
StubHub! Listen up, sports fans. Over the past few years, you've heard that StubHub is the best place to buy.
Clinton's campaign, if you go back to 92, was struggling before the New York primary. He was in big trouble. He was out of shape. He had let his weight go. He was depressed by his own admission. And he needed to get it turned around. And it really, the New York primary was an enormous factor. And it really changed Don, too, because it really got the Imus in the Morning program very much involved in politics, where Don became probably as important as any political show in America. I don't think in any way that is an overstatement that this show became as important as, I don't care what you want to put up there, Meet the Press, anything you want to put up there.
I don't think there's any question.
I mean, you had to play with Imus. That's all there was. If you were going to run for president or be a big politician, and Washington is enthralled and has been totally enthralled with the Imus in the Morning program. There is no question about it, in an enormous way. And it really began, I think, the transformation began with this time with Bill Clinton. Let's listen.
Well, here now on the phone with us, the governor of Arkansas, who, as you probably know, is running for the presidency of the United States. Good morning, Governor Clinton.
Good morning, Don.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm disappointed you didn't call me Bubba. Well, it's an honorable term where I come from. It's just southern for Mensch.
At least you haven't been accused of having any kind of relationship with unattractive women. I mean, what if Roseanne Arnold were calling Ted Koppel saying, yeah, I've been sleeping with Governor Clinton? I mean, that would be a problem.
Listen, if she did that, I'd file a palimony suit against her. She's got the #1 TV show in America, and I could finance the rest of this presidential campaign. It'd be better than Jerry Brown's 800 number.
Governor, good luck. Hang in there, huh?
You bet.
Governor Bill Clinton here today. I'm still on the program at 7:29.
Sounded nervous, didn't he?
Not really.
Yeah, I could hear it in Marky Mark. That is a smart son of a gun. He did himself a world of good right then and there.
I'm really glad Don Imus came to Washington. You know, he actually takes credit for getting me elected in 1992. He might have done it. But what I want to know is, what has he done for me lately?
What you heard there was a documentary that was basically was filming you guys and your reaction to the interview.
Right.
Which, Charles, but go back and take us through that time, that interview, and that time with that Bill Clinton interview, and what was going on with the program at that time.
Well, remember they had, who was doing the show? Was that a Nightline thing? I can't recall, God almighty. But anyway, I remember they had a 2-shot up of Bill Clinton, and you saw him in his hotel room, wherever on the...
Wearing a cap.
Wearing a cap. And you saw Imus in the other half of your screen.
Yep.
And there was what I am absolutely persuaded was a moment of presidential history in this country. Because as we observed then, what kind of good it had done him. And, you know, you're right, Mike. That was the first time that we saw a person of enormous political potential coming on the program and humanizing themselves.
Absolutely.
And that
changed everything.
And then that happened, you know, across
America. They went to every kind of show from there, whether it was the Leno, Letterman, whatever. They started crossing and going to do the comedy shows, to do
the next thing
they started doing everything.
Was Clinton playing the saxophone? Late at night,
showing personality, and then going on all these different kind of shows. And it also changed your program, Charles. It
absolutely
moved towards politics, away from some of the other stuff. Now, obviously, still continued with a lot of the cutting-edge stuff and everything, but he went and became a political kingmaker, and also became a very important show for issues, you know, as far as politics, and whether it was, you know, in the later years, the benefits for the vets, whether it became the idea of autism, whether it became the charities, but it all began really to change right around the time of the Clinton interview.
Always fascinating to me to sit here as an observer of the I-Man, to watch his evolution as it occurred, you know, from shock jock to this very important political entity himself. I mean, he would reject the term pundit, But, my gosh.
Well, he's a great interviewer.
So he didn't do any of this stuff in the mid-'80s then?
No,
nothing.
Nothing like that.
And he's a great interviewer because he gets
him feel relaxed.
Yes, dog, exactly. He gets these people to say things they don't ever say. He gets them talking about stuff, and he acts like he doesn't know anything. So he'll say, well, I don't know anything about this, when he knows a lot about it, number one, and he's always prepared. We see the amount of research he goes through and looking at the stuff for tomorrow's interviews. I'd sit back there with him, dog, with two, and he'd have all his notes, and so he did a lot of work. But the other thing was he's very disarming, and Pat Buchanan made that point. He said, made the point a couple of weeks ago. He was talking about Imus on one of those shows, and he said, Imus's interviews were so different because he disarmed them to the point where they would talk about whatever it might be, but you saw a very different, unguarded look.
Really did.
They were off message when they were on with Imus.
You saw a different face of the individual, and it was revealing, and usually was very positive for them, just as it was right there for Bill Clinton.
Wow, that was fascinating. Good job there.
I don't think there's anything about it. And, is there one of all these political characters and all these political people who would come on the show, senators and, congressmen and power brokers and even presidents, was there one who was your favorite? There was one that you liked to hear come on the show. I mean, some of them were on so many times, Kerry or McCain, or you can go down the line. Was there one that you liked? There was one that stands out for you?
Buddy Cianci.
Reduce noise and enjoy your music undisturbed with Bose Quiet Comfort acoustic noise-canceling headphones. Quiet Comfort headphones offer an unmatched combination of audio performance, noise reduction.
It's 20th anniversary weekend. A lot of people coming in for shows, special events. It all began yesterday with the Top 20 Countdown, which we did yesterday afternoon. And this morning, we not only do the program, we also go back and take a look at the brilliant career of Imus in the Morning here on the Fan and what they brought to the station, and we go back and look back at it now. But first, there's a lot going on. Trades, draft, Yankees, Mets, get ready for some weekend baseball. Mets in Philly with a day-night, both on the Fan starting this afternoon. No afternoon show for Mike and the Mad Dog as we head towards vacation here. Dog will be doing mornings next week. I'll be off. The Knicks make a trade. The Celtics, we'll get to all that. But two big stories we want to get to, and we'll do that now with sports with the Conrad.
Sports is sponsored by Peerless Boilers. Mike, go to peerlessboilers.com for a dealer near you. Remember, Peerless builds America's best boilers. So the Mets and Cardinals were rained out, but that didn't stop Paul Lo Duca from popping off a little bit to the media. Lo Duca approached by a reporter, and apparently he's getting a little bit tired of talking and maybe feels that some of the other guys are not doing their share. Here's the exact quote. I'll do this interview, but you need to start talking to the other players. It's the same 3 or 4 guys every day. Nobody else wants to talk. Some of these guys have to start talking. They speak English, believe me.
Well, listen, go back 10 days on the Mike and the Mad Dog program, and Dog broke the story for everybody and told you that Lo Duca felt this way. Was about, I'd say in the afternoon, about 10 days ago, Dog had gotten word that Lo Duca was very upset about this, that basically using the language barrier that the Spanish-speaking players were not speaking to the media, and it was being left every day to Lo Duca and David Wright and a couple other guys, and that he was getting very upset about it. Well, yesterday he went public with it.
Well, it's a very interesting situation. I mean, after he's annoyed about these 2-day suspension too, so you got to put that in the mix. But I'm a little surprised he made it public. And the Mets just don't. Delgado never says a word. Beltran wants to go home, and El Duque. Here's a perfect example. They went to El Duque last night to get his thoughts about the start days. He got pushed back. Wouldn't talk. I'll talk to you tomorrow. El Duque, give the writers a couple of quotes, for God's sakes, about being pushed back a day, starting a big series against the Phillies, Mike. Why doesn't El Duque give him a couple of quotes last night? No reason not to.
And in recent days, Keith Hernandez, according to these stories, has singled out Beltran and Delgado.
Yeah, he's been on him.
But he needs to take more responsibility and accountability about the team's June swoon and their own performances. Lo Duca, with a smile, said, I have no comments. I'm going home.
There you go. All right, that's number one. What's number two?
Number two is ESPN's most recent headache, another sexual harassment lawsuit, this time filed by a former makeup artist at the show Cold Pizza. She claims that host Jay Crawford, contributor Woody Page both groped and propositioned her off air and talked about sex quite a bit in front of her. Her name's Rita Ragone. She filed a suit in Manhattan federal court yesterday saying she was fired in April of 2006 after ESPN executives ignored her complaints and told her on-air talent was, quote, untouchable. She says Paige grabbed her once, oftentimes made very inappropriate comments to her, and Crawford pinned her in a corner and told her the only reason she got the job was because she was attractive. Crawford, Paige, and ESPN have all vehemently denied the claims.
And what is the comment about clothes? There was a comment. Did you see that comment about
Charles
clothes?
had that, right, Charles?
There was a comment that on that show, whatever their morning show is,
Pizza,
Cold
that doesn't
Pizza,
exist anymore.
Yeah, but that doesn't. It's been
Pizza
replaced
out.
now,
Yeah,
and
they threw the
Crawford
pizza out.
still hosts, and that whatever replaced it. But that clothing was optional. There's something in the paper, stuff like the clothing was.
Those were among those inappropriate comments that, there's some other stuff that you don't want to get into that was said, but there was a lot of stuff that she claimed.
And listen, I know Jay Crawford. He's a great guy. Who knows now? But I mean,
I'll be honest.
He's a good guy.
And this is a nightmare. Remember, this is ESPN, which has had a tremendous history of problems with sexual harassment.
And they fired Reynolds.
Reynolds, and they have a history in their place of many, many problems in this area up in Bristol through the years by their own account. There have been a lot of stories about it. Number two, this is Disney. They own ESPN, so the idea they see front page stories, killing ESPN over sexual harassment.
No kidding.
And the only thing you can say about cold pizzas, this is the first time everybody's ever mentioned cold pizza, which is one of the reasons why the show doesn't exist anymore. It had no viewers.
Two things there. The Crawford thing shocked me because I've, dealt with him a little bit. Terrific guy. You would never think that. Never think that in a million years.
Kids, the whole bit.
And secondly, the other word that she uses in the suit is that the talent was untouchable. Woody Page is untouchable.
Is he still there?
I think, is he doing that thing in the morning?
They got rid of Woody Page.
Yeah.
Woody Page and Jay Crawford were untouchable? What had they ever done?
I don't know.
And the show was a bomb. The show, they canceled the show. The show never had a rating.
And somehow was on for 4 or 5 years.
The show never had a pulse.
Yeah.
It never had a pulse.
And that's a weird response in that suit, because if they're so untouchable, why did Hal Reynolds get fired? And he just signed a big contract 2 weeks before they fired him.
And is Page still there? I don't even think he's on there anymore.
Do they still do that? They did like a little debate thing with him and...
they have another show now, right?
Yeah,
I
with
mean,
him and Skip Bayless.
they moved the show up to Bristol, but it has a different name now, right?
Right.
And Crawford still runs the thing. I mean,
Crawford's still on it,
right?
Woody Page,
Crawford was not fired. He was still on it, from what I gathered.
I'm not sure if Woody Page is, but Crawford is still there, yes.
First Take is now the name of the show.
First Take.
Page is a columnist with the Denver Post.
Right, has been for a long time.
And I guess he's still that. I guess that's
he still does that other show in the afternoon.
That's right.
Around the Horn.
Around the Horn.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, and you got a couple...
Around the horn, so to speak.
Yeah, and three quick trades. Right,
well, Knicks made the deal. They get Zach Randolph from Portland yesterday in exchange for Channing Frye and Steve Francis. They also got Dan Dickow, Fred Jones. Ray Allen goes to the Celtics along with Glenn Davis, Big Baby, in exchange for Jeff Green, Wally Zerbiak, and Delonte West.
And don't be hard on Randolph. He's just been misunderstood to this point in his career.
And Jason Richardson really surprised me. Golden State had a great run. They break Richardson. He gets him to Charlotte
for Brendan Wright.
That surprised me big time.
And what is you had the little resume on Randolph? What, now, other than his 23-10 last year, what is the Randolph resume, dog?
I just bought 1 million tickets from MSG. Am I allowed to read this or not?
MSG for what?
What, you got the Wiggles?
Coming up, Dora the Explorer. Dog has got Dora the Explorer staying over his house.
98, still in high school, Randolph was arrested in connection with the theft of guns from a store. 26 days in juvenile detention. 2003, 60 days probation after pleading guilty to misdemeanor possession of alcohol by a minor in a 2002 incident. 2003, suspended 2 games and fined $100,000 by Portland after punching teammate Ruben Patterson in the face during practice. 2003 again, arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence after police officer smelled marijuana in his car. 2004, suspended 1 game by the NBA for taking a swing at Raja Bell. 2004 again, questioned by police after his brother was arrested in connection with a shooting at an Indiana bar. 2 years ago, suspended a game and fined by the Trailblazers, leaving the arena during a loss to Golden State. And then suspended a game by the NBA for making an obscene gesture to fans in Indiana. And then last year, he was in a Portland strip club while on bereavement leave on the night of a Trailblazer game. So here's the guy. And the bereavement leave, it was his
girlfriend's
cousin's boy for husband or some crazy thing. They had a game that night, and we asked Kevin Pritchard about it at the time. Remember that, Mike?
We all grieve differently.
And he was at a strip club in Portland when his team had a game that night.
He grieves with a woman on his lap.
Very strange.
Different ways to cope.
And a very strange thing for MSG. Do I got to bring Spike Lee out every time the Knicks make a move for a player?
Do they bring Spike out?
Oh, my God.
So Spike's okay with it?
I mean, do I have to bring... Is Spike, was he the official spokesman of the New York Knicks?
I think if I remember right, Spike predicted the Knicks would win it all this year.
I mean, jeez. Do I have to go to Spike Lee every single time there's a Knick move? I mean, I
was up there a lot. That's part of his ticket thing. Well, that's what he gets for... he is number one Knicks fan. As he gets the tickets, he's number one Knicks fan.
Here's Spike and Lisa Salter. Spike pretty much telling you, Isaiah just called them to tell you who they were picking.
Isaiah asked them whether they should take him or not.
Thank you, Con.
So we got a... but I tell you right now, on record, I would make the deal.
Probably would, too.
And hold your breath.
I would...
You got a 50-50 chance that you get something out of it.
I agree.
Maybe. It's kind of like a Spreewell deal.
It's dangerous.
The kid's got a lot of talent.
They gave up Francis. They gave him 63. He's got $63 million.
Right, but Francis was on the hook for 34, so that's a $30 million deal. I can live with the money. The kid's 23-10 in the West, and he's been 18-8 for the last 4 years average, so they can play. But, hey, that's a long rap sheet. That's a big problem. He's a selfish kid. He's also a kid who's a bad actor.
They got rid of him. As soon as they got Odom, out he goes.
Oh, you can't.
What's that tell you?
What that tells you is you cannot have a chance that you are going to send Odom down the wrong track. You cannot have a guy who's going to say, hey, Greg, how about we go tonight here? That cannot happen.
Yeah.
You have to put the right people around Odom.
We'll come back. Mike and Chris, don't go away.
You're listening to Mike and the Mad Dog on Sports Radio 66 WFAN. If you or anyone around you might be sensitive to information regarding a shocking offer on the Volvo S40 and Volvo...